Welcome to the channel as we start another story from the Creepy Tales playlist. In the darkness, stories take shape. Some are whispered from the shadows. Others echo from places you should never go. These are the echoes of the unknown. Tales of horror, suspense, and fear that lingers. Because sometimes the scariest stories are the ones you can't explain. The ones you don't want to know exist. Let's begin. The village of Black Hollow clings to the misty mountains, a small, quiet settlement beside the vast, still waters of Whisper Lake. Each morning, a thick, ghostly mist rolls across the surface, pale tendrils twisting like ghostly fingers. Fishermen gather at the docks, their boats creaking against the cold water. Old Tomas, the eldest fisherman, tells stories, tales of the lake's depth, of strange shadows that twist beneath the surface. The younger villagers laugh, brushing off his warnings. But the mist is always thick, the air sharp and cold. One morning, as Tomas casts his net, he pauses, his head tilting. A faint, rhythmic whisper seems to drift across the water, soft, distorted, like a voice clawing through thick fog. But the mist is empty. The others hear it too, thin, faint, pressing against their ears. But they cast their nets, laughing nervously. Until Tomas pulls up his catch, and his net is tangled with pale, twisted bones. Tomas's net clinks and rattles as he drags it onto the boat. The other fishermen laugh, but their laughter dies when they see what he's caught, pale, twisting bones, thin and spiraled like warped branches. What are these? One of them whispers, his fingers brushing against the smooth, cold surface. But Tomas's hands shake. Not fish. Not any creature I've ever seen. Another fisherman pulls his net, but instead of trout, he pulls a writhing, shimmering shape, silver scales that twist, shifting colors, a pale, ghostly light pulsing beneath the surface. It's alive, but not quite. The whisper seems louder now, a faint, distorted hum pressing against their ears. The mist thickens, twisting around the boats. Tomas hurls the bones back into the water, his voice a thin, desperate rasp. We leave. Now. Now! But the others hesitate, staring at the strange, shifting shapes in their nets. Back at the docks, the fishermen gather, their nets empty, their faces pale. Tomas's voice is sharp. You heard it, didn't you? The whisper? But the younger men laugh it off, though their eyes are nervous. It's just the wind, the mist playing tricks, one mutters. But the older men are silent. Tomas leans forward. It's the lake. It's always been the lake. That night the mist is thicker, curling through the village streets, pressing against the windows. Families close their doors, pulling the curtains tight. But even inside, some swear they hear it, a faint, rhythmic whisper drifting through the cold air. Tomas wakes, his window frosted, his breath a thin, misty cloud. He stares out at the lake, pale mist twisting across the water. But something moves beneath the surface, a faint, dark shape, twisting, coiling, then vanishing. The whisper is louder now. The next morning, the mist is thick, the lake a pale, ghostly mirror beneath the gray sky. The fishermen return to their boats, their voices hushed, their eyes flicking nervously across the water. Young Elias casts his net, laughing nervously. Fish are fish. Nothing else. But when he pulls the net, it's heavier, tangled with pale, twisting bones spiraled like frozen tendrils. His fingers shake. Another pulls his line, but what he catches is worse, shimmering, silver scales, pulsing with faint, ghostly light. They twist, writhing, even after they're pulled from the water. One scale slips, clinging to his hand, and his skin tingles, cold, sharp. The whisper is louder now, a faint, rhythmic hum pressing against their ears. Elias looks up, his voice a faint gasp. It's coming from the lake. But the mist thickens, swirling, twisting around the boats. That evening, the village gathers in the old chapel, wooden beams creaking, candles flickering against the damp, misty air. Tomas stands at the front, his voice a rough, desperate rasp. The lake is not safe. We need to stop fishing. Murmurs rise, some laugh, some whisper, but others are silent, their faces pale. Elias stands, his hand wrapped in a cloth, a faint, silvery mark twisting against his palm. It touched me. It was cold, it was wrong. Old Marta, the herbalist, nods. The mist is thicker, and the whisper. I hear it even now. But the mayor, a tall, broad-shouldered man, steps forward. Superstitions won't feed us. We need the lake. We fish, or we starve. Tomas's voice cracks. Then we starve better than we vanish. But the younger men laugh, dismissing his fear. They agree to fish at dawn. Tomas watches, his fingers trembling. He knows they won't return. Morning arrives pale and gray, the mist thick, curling over the lake like a ghostly shroud. 3 boats set out, Elias, Jacob, and Peter laughing nervously, their nets coiled, their poles sharp. Tomas stands at the dock, his hands shaking. The mist twists, pressing against the shore. He can barely see the boats now, faint, dark shapes swallowed by the pale fog. The village waits. Hours pass. The mist thickens. The whisper rises, a faint, rhythmic hum pressing against the cold, damp air. But the boats do not return. Evening falls, the mist twisting through the empty streets, pressing against the windows. Tomas's breath is a faint, desperate mist. He stares out at the lake, still, pale, a silent mirror beneath the gray sky. And then he sees it, a faint, dark shape twisting beneath the surface, pulsing, coiling, then vanishing. The whisper is louder now. Dawn arrives pale and cold, the mist thick and heavy over the lake. The village gathers at the dock, whispers twisting among them. Tomas stands at the edge, his eyes fixed on the mist-shrouded water. Then, faint shapes emerge, 3 boats, drifting silently toward the shore. No oars, no sails. Just a slow, ghostly glide. The villagers lean forward, their breaths misting in the cold air. The boats bump against the dock, but they are empty. The nets are torn, pale, twisted bones tangled among them. The wood is damp, slick with a faint, silvery sheen. Tomas steps forward, his fingers trembling. Elias? Jacob? Peter? But the boats are silent, the mist pressing against the village. Old Marta clutches a rosary, her voice a thin, desperate whisper. It's the lake, it took them. But even as they speak, the whisper rises, a faint, rhythmic hum drifting from the mist. The mist thickens, curling through the village streets, pressing against the windows. Tomas locks his door, his breath a faint mist. But even inside he hears it, the whisper, faint and rhythmic, pressing against his ears. His lantern flickers, the pale light twisting. Shadows dance against the walls, and for an instant, he thinks he sees them, twisted, pale shapes shifting just beyond the window, their hollow eyes staring. The whisper is louder now, a slow, distorted hum. He presses his hands against his ears, but it doesn't stop. His window fogs, cold mist pressing against the glass. In the street, the few remaining fishermen huddle, whispering. We don't fish anymore. Not in that lake. But the mayor's voice is a sharp bark. We have to eat. It's just mist. But even as he speaks, the mist swirls, pale, ghostly tendrils curling around his legs. That night, the lake is different. The mist clings to the water, thick and pale, but beneath it, a faint, ghostly glow pulses, silver, twisting like cold light beneath the surface. The villagers watch from their windows, their breath faint mist. Tomas stares, his fingers trembling. It's waking, he whispers. Old Marta huddles beside her fire, her rosary clutched tight. We must stay away, do not look at it. But the young men laugh nervously, gathering at the dock, daring each other to fish. One, Stefan, grabs a net. It's just mist, just fog. He throws the net, laughing. But the water ripples, the silver light twisting, pulsing. His laughter fades. The net jerks, hard, twisting, then pulls. He screams, his hands slipping. The others grab him, but the mist thickens, a faint, rhythmic hum pressing against their ears. And then Stefan is gone, pulled beneath the silver glow. The village is silent, the mist pressing thick against the houses, pale, ghostly tendrils curling through the streets. Tomas stands in the chapel, his voice a desperate rasp. It's awake! The lake is awake! The mayor's voice is a sharp, trembling bark. It's mist! It's just fog and superstition! But Marta shakes her head. You've heard it. The whisper. It's not the wind. It's not the water. Her voice is thin, desperate. It's something beneath. Stefan's mother sobs, her voice a faint, broken whisper. It took him, it took my boy. The mayor slams his fist against the pew. We will not be ruled by fear. But even as he speaks, the mist presses against the windows, thick and pale. And then they hear it, a faint, rhythmic hum, clawing through the thick, cold air. The walls tremble, the candles flicker. The lake is waking. The mist grows thicker, swirling across the village, pale, ghostly tendrils pressing against the doors, curling through the streets. Tomas stands at his window, his breath a faint mist. The whisper is everywhere now, thick, rhythmic, pressing against his ears. From his window, he watches the lake, pale, silver light twisting beneath the mist. But then he sees it, dark shapes writhing beneath the surface, twisting, coiling. Something vast, ancient, shifting. And then the mist moves, curling, pressing against the village. Doors creak, windows fog, and the whisper rises, a slow, distorted hum. A scream pierces the night, a young woman, her voice a faint, desperate wail. Tomas rushes outside, the mist curling around his legs. But the street is empty. Just thick, pale fog pressing against the cold, damp stones. And in the lake, the silver glow pulses, twisting. The darkness beneath it coils, shifting, hungry. The mist is everywhere now, thick, cold, pressing against the village, swirling like pale, ghostly fingers through the streets. Tomas watches from his window, his breath a faint mist. But even inside, the whisper claws at his ears, a thick, rhythmic hum that never stops. One by one, the houses grow silent. Families lock their doors, but the mist seeps through the cracks. Faint screams rise, muffled, then vanish. Lights flicker, then go dark. Tomas's lantern trembles, the pale flame twisting. He steps outside, his legs weak. The streets are empty, the fog thick, swirling. The lake is a pale, glowing mirror, silver light pulsing beneath the mist. But then he sees it, a vast, twisting shadow beneath the surface, coiling, shifting. Dark, empty eyes seem to rise, staring through the silver glow. The whisper is louder, a distorted chant, pressing against his mind. And somewhere beneath, something vast stirs. Tomas runs to the dock, his lantern a faint, trembling glow. The boats are gone, just empty water, the mist thick, swirling. But he can't look away. Beneath the silver glow, the darkness shifts, vast, coiling shadows twisting beneath the surface. The whisper is a thick, rhythmic hum now, pressing against his chest, clawing at his thoughts. He stumbles, his knees buckling. Please, please! But then the silver glow surges, twisting, coiling like ghostly tendrils beneath the water. A vast, dark shape presses against the surface, then melts into the mist. Tomas's lantern flickers, its pale flame twisting. And just beneath the dock, the water ripples, cold, dark tendrils twisting, rising, then sinking. He realizes the truth. The lake is not just water. It is a doorway, an ancient, hungry mouth that twists between worlds. And now it is open. The whisper rises, a slow, distorted chant pressing against his ears. The village is silent, swallowed by the mist. Tomas stumbles through the empty streets, his lantern a faint, dying glow. He passes darkened houses, windows fogged, empty. The whisper is everywhere now, a thick, rhythmic hum that claws at his mind. But then he sees them, pale, ghostly shapes twisting through the fog, their eyes empty, their mouths frozen in silent screams. Familiar faces, Elias, Marta, Stefan, their forms ripple, shifting like shadows beneath dark water. Tomas backs away, his pulse a frantic hammer. No, no, please! But the mist thickens, the silver glow from the lake pulsing, twisting. The darkness beneath it coils, vast and ancient, a slow, rhythmic pulse pressing against the surface. His lantern flickers, then dies. The whisper rises, a thick, distorted chant that presses against his chest. The mist curls around him, pale tendrils pressing against his skin. And somewhere beneath the lake, something vast and hungry opens. Tomas is alone, the mist thick and pale, pressing against his face, twisting around his legs. The village is gone, only empty fog and the vast, silver-glowing lake remain. The whisper is everywhere, thick, rhythmic, pressing against his ears, clawing at his mind. But the lake is not a lake. It is a doorway, a vast, ancient wound that twists between worlds, a dark, hungry void that pulls at the edges of reality, and it's been opened. The silver glow pulses, twisting, coiling. Dark, twisted shapes rise beneath the surface, their pale, empty eyes staring. Ghostly faces twist within the mist, Elias, Marta, Stefan, each face frozen in terror, their mouths open in silent screams. The whisper rises, a thick, distorted chant. The mist presses closer, cold, sharp, clawing at his skin. Tomas's breath is a faint, desperate mist. His eyes wide, staring. The mist curls around his face, pressing against his mouth, his eyes. And then there is only silence, thick, cold, and empty. The lake is still, the silver glow fading. The mist drifts pale and ghostly. The village is gone. Only the cold, silent water remains. And beneath the lake, the darkness stirs, waiting for its prey. Next time you're home all alone, and you hear those things that go bump in the night, sometimes they are best left alone.